What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Robeytech. I am your host, Justin Robey, and I am joined by Connor. There he is, here he is, he's just his hand. I'm joined by Connor, and we're here today doing, you know what, honestly, Connor, I think it's a good thing because we've done a lot of very expensive builds, and so now's a chance to do this $1,800 build that you guys helped choose parts for. And actually, I'm gonna bring up, I'll be honest, guys, there wasn't a lot of support in that video. Let's just be real. We had a couple people go in there and choose parts, so I did listen to some, but it was more like nobody gave us. Oh, hey Connor, can you hit that light switch right there? Yeah. There was nobody who gave like super, like really clear guidance. Like in the end, like there was a couple people who were like, choose this, but it was more expensive, and so in the end, I kind of listened generally and ended up curating the list for sure. So I'll go through the parts that we chose. But in the end, I don't think we had enough people watch. So we're gonna do another one. So look for that. We'll start that next month. Well, we'll do another one, and hopefully that one picks up a little bit more steam. We've been doing, I don't know if people have noticed, we've been changing like our content strategy a lot. Not only that have we posted a lot more videos, but the other thing too is a lot more short form stuff. So we've been answering a lot of questions and all that sort of stuff as well. So hopefully today you guys are gonna have a good time. Maybe the next one, if more of you could guys go watch the video, give us some comments, and we'll have some better content, which is actually cool. How are you guys doing? I really would, but I had a hard time finding the time to sit down and do stuff like these. It's okay, Joshua Wood. Okay, that wasn't meant to go feel guilty, right? Like you shouldn't go and be like, hey, I'm a terrible Robeytech community member. That is not what we were saying at all. Please don't take it that way. It's just, in the end, I think it's one of those things that it might be too niche, and it is made for a pretty sizable audience, and our second channel is nowhere near as large as our first channel, so it's just one of those things that we think over time it'll grow as we start to get more and more people, and we think the short form content will help that a whole lot. But really, really glad to have you guys here today. Excited about this. Honestly, hey, Zemu dropping 20 gifted subs already. We got a 24-month tier 1, and then also Blue M Cat was a couple days ago, so we could get a hype train if we wanted to out of that, which would be super rad. But I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about this case. And again, how I kind of chose the budget and the parts for this was specifically off the price tag, right? Because, I mean, again, I think it was a sub $90 case. And so when I originally went through and chose the parts via the closet, and you guys got to see the parts closet and all that sort of stuff, it was really about just trying to make sure it's like, if you're gonna spend $90 on a case versus like $200 on a frame 5000D, or close to $200 on like an NZXT H9 Flow or something like that. When we chose this case, giving it 90 bucks, it fits in kind of that budget realm, and we haven't done a budget case for a while. Now, I do want to let you guys know we do have some budget builds coming up. In fact, at the end of the month, I'm going to be going on vacation, and Damien is going to be stepping in for me at the end of the month. So he's going to be doing 2 live streams, one of which will be a budget build. We're trying to be sub $900. So really, really good budget build. Going to be built around the AMD Ryzen 8400G. So that should be a really cool one. And we're trying to do some more of those things, and we'll probably end up giving that away as just a fun thing. The other thing too is I do want to let you guys know Intel Live Mod Workshop starts next week. Not this week, but next week. And every single one of those will have a PC giveaway. So if you are open or itching to get a PC, that's 3 to 4 times a month that you can come and watch an episode. So set your calendar. We'll make sure that we pimp it up enough that you guys have more than enough heads up, so that way you can make sure that you're there and you get to watch it. So stay tuned. Those will be happening at the regular time, 1 p.m. Pacific time. But the stream schedule starting in August will go to Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And Fridays will always be more than likely an Intel Live Mod Workshop, unless I'm in someplace like QuakeCon or something like that. We might have to move around. So there's going to be some really, really awesome stuff coming up. So I wanted to open up with that, and then we'll get into the build itself. Guys, we're close to a hype train. So if we want to get that done, that would be absolutely amazing. We just need to drop your gifted sub. Remember, that gets you additional entries towards the giveaways and those PC giveaways that are coming up. So drop your Amazon Prime sub, then you're just good to go, and you don't have to worry about it on the day of. Lastly, Giveaway for today, 150 likes is a $15 gift card, 200 likes is a $20 gift card, 250 likes is a $25 gift card. So make sure you get your likes in and all that sort of stuff so that way we can give away some things at the very end of the show. But that is everything, right? I've covered all the bare essentials, right? Yeah, here they're all agreeing. And so let's get into talking about the parts that we're gonna be putting inside of this build and the little bit of feedback you guys gave. So first and foremost, we're gonna be doing the Ryzen 7. Oh, this is supposed to be the 7800X3D. Okay, let me just make sure because I have the parts list here. This might have been the wrong one. Hold on, let me look. Parts list. I'm looking at the parts list because I think this is the wrong CPU. Did the parts list? Yeah, it's supposed to be a 7800X3D. See, there we go. So that's why I checked. So I'm gonna go grab the 7800X3D because that's gonna be the CPU we're using in this, not the 9800X3D. Which I have some things to say about the 9800X3D. Not bad things, just things that people need to consider sometimes when they're going and they're choosing these PCs. So here we go.
Just so you know, Justin, I'm following you in.
There it is. I'm grabbing it from the parts closet right there. So we got the 7800X3D. So we're gonna start with the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. And the main reason being, it was a really, really good point. The 9800X3D from a cost standpoint is actually pretty expensive. So when you think about $200 could be the jump from something like a 9070 to a 9070 XT, or it could be the jump from a 5070 to a 5070 Ti. And in the end, a jump in GPU is actually better for your gaming performance than a jump in CPU. A lot of times people think, and actually Hardware Unboxed just did a great video on CPU scalability, and where CPUs make a big difference at 1440p and 9800X3 and at 4K is very, very game dependent. Now, there was one thing he said which actually kind of surprised me, where he was like, and he talked about Space Marine 2 and how more games are going to be more CPU heavy. I have no idea where he got that information from. As somebody who develops games love to use shared resource pools. And in fact, CPUs, because of their distance from the traces it has to follow on the motherboard, is actually causes things to be slower. So usually what you do is you run your main thread, your main game loop, and you try to do as much on the GPU as absolutely possible. And the main reason is that's just faster and it reduces latency. So I actually don't think that's going to be true. I think at 1440p and 4K, unless we build some architecture similar to something like Apple on Mac, where you have a shared resource pool of memory and all that sort of stuff, for the most part, game developers will want to stick with a particularly fast location, and that's usually VRAM and using the GPU extensively. So I think that Space Marine is actually an oddity in comparison to how most game developers are going to work, and that's usually because I know the architecture of the Xbox very, very well, having worked on Xbox for 20 years, and so I don't see that changing, which I think was just kind of an oddity. So I don't necessarily agree with them on that, but one thing I will say that is universally true is that 1440p and 4K, CPU matters a whole lot less than it does GPU, and the jump you'll get from GPU will always outweigh the jump that you'll get from CPU. So that's why we chose the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, which has not been on the table the whole time. So when you're thinking about this, all in all, if you can save money and you're gonna use a system at 1440p and 4K, make sure that you don't overspend on the CPU. This is some place where you can look to actually save money. And looking at something like a 9600X, a 9700X, you don't necessarily need a 9800X3D, where you can save that money to go up in your GPU step would be a better cause. So there's that. That's why we went with that down from the 9800X3D, because it was less expensive. Okay, next thing that we have here is the B850 Pro A Wi-Fi. The cool thing about this is this was actually a very inexpensive board. I was actually surprised at how inexpensive this board actually was. And then the other thing that was actually really nice about it was that with the B850 you get things like I think I'm trying to make sure that I'm right. I don't want to say stuff that's not true. So you still get Wi-Fi 6E, you get Gen 5, which I think is important. So you get Gen 5 for one of the slots. You get a M.2 that's also Gen 5. So you get some extra bonuses specifically when you go to B850, which means that if you choose to upgrade your GPU in the future, that just means that the upgrade path for this is just going to be a lot more secure as GPUs start to fill out those PCI lanes more effectively, so to speak. So there's our motherboard. For our storage, And RAM, somebody had said we should use a PNY and it was cheaper, but I ended up looking. So the WD SN850X was a great option. It wasn't a whole lot less or more expensive than any of the other options. It's got DRAM, it's got plenty of speed. All in all, it's a great gaming drive. 2 terabytes is enough to install most of your games and keep things at a nice flexible pace. So this felt like a good solid option for your storage. And let me go fix the music because it's being stupid. And so that was why we went with that. For RAM, we went with G.Skill Trident Z. The other thing too is like for this, it was also CL36. So it was a less expensive kit. Again, trying to keep costs down. We wanted to be sub $2,000 all in. So CL36, where someplace it's a place you could save. If you wanted to spend a little bit more and go down to CL30 or CL28, you could absolutely do that if you wanted to. G.Skill's just a great kit, very reliable. You knew it was gonna last forever. It's got solid RGB that kind of works with everything. So all in all, I was trying to think of ease of use, plus just, all in all compatibility, which is why we essentially chose this right here. When you feel it's not meeting your needs, approximately 3 to 5 years, about how often do you need to update a CPU? So that is can we save that question? And that was over on YouTube for you, Blondie. So in terms of, I think the answer to that question, I think what somebody had said, which is when you feel it's not meeting your needs. I think a lot of times people get antsy and they think, hey, how can what can I upgrade? Like, what do I need to upgrade for my system right now? And the answer is, if everything's working fine, nothing. You don't need to upgrade anything. When you upgrade something is such an individual thing. Don't feel like you have to do anything. If you're going to be doing gaming, upgrading your GPU may be the more solid option depending on the CPU you do. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go see if, based on where you are in terms of your CPU and GPU journey, if one particular item is bottlenecking the other. Now, in most cases, a GPU bottleneck is the best kind of bottleneck. That's where you want the bottleneck to necessarily mean. That means all in all, like a 5090 is a GPU bottleneck at 4K. It will be until the 6090 comes out, and even then, it will probably stay to be a bottleneck. What you don't want to have is you don't want to have the GPU bottlenecked by the CPU, and that's where you might need a CPU upgrade because you're playing at a resolution like 1080p or something like that, and that's where you want to stick. So again, the answer isn't, unfortunately, every 3 to 5 years. The answer is when you need it for the task that you're essentially going to do it for, which is just something that's kind of a good rule of thumb. But you should never feel like, it's 5 years, I need to go do this. You may not. The better option might be to go to GPU, because I'll be honest, game development is changing. They could do direct access and D3D, and that may change things in terms of how much CPU or GPU power you need. So it's all very dependent. Have you seen the new G.Skill Royals? Yes, we have. We've actually got to use them, and they've been doing those for a while. When you have to replace either GPU or CPU, what else needs to be replaced? That is another good question. It all depends on what specific CPU or GPU you're going to need. Say, for instance, you're coming off of a 6000 series AMD GPU, or you might be using an older 30 series, and you're going to something like a 5080 or a 5070 Ti that has a 16 pen. In that case, you may actually need to replace your PSU, just because, I mean, all in all, using a direct 16 to 16 pen is just a better option for NVIDIA. When you talk about AMD, it's a little bit less so, but it may actually require the changes to your motherboard, because the other thing too is that depending on how old your CPU is, you may have a Gen 3 PCIe slot, and you might need to move up to Gen 4. Now for CPU, it's all dependent on the socket. So say, for instance, you're running AM4 and you want to go to AM5, you're gonna have to replace your motherboard, and you're gonna have to replace potentially your cooling unit, because it doesn't have the support it needs to support and cool your AM5 socket. So unfortunately, the answer isn't so simple. The better thing to say is like, hey, if I have this and I want to go to this, what do I need to replace? That's gonna be a little bit of an easier question. How less good is the 285K than the 9800X3D? That's a great question. The answer is, depends. I hate this. It feels like we're saying depends a lot.
Those two CPUs are kind of like apples and oranges.
Yeah.
A bit.
The 285K, so in gaming, it depends on the resolution. At 1440p and 4K, the 285K and the 9800X3D start to go like this. And then also, it depends on the games. Like in games like Counter-Strike, or CPU-heavy games like, for instance, what is the one? I just got finished talking about it. Warhammer 40K. That's where you'll actually see a larger gap. But in games like Cyberpunk 2077 and Indiana Jones, there'll actually be little to no, like 3 to 5% difference between a 9800K and a 285K in the overall performance. And 4K, it becomes even less. So CPU scaling changes because the CPU becomes less necessary for gaming at higher resolutions. What is your opinion on the 9700X? Mine doesn't overheat, but it sits at 48 degrees at idle during nothing. J Games Tech, idle is one of those things that's kind of odd. Like it's again, none of the fans are gonna work to make your idle less. And the other thing too is at idle, you wanna use the least amount of power. It's sitting at 49 is not a big deal. All in all, as long if you know, you're using, it's trying to, your PC is trying to do the least amount of power state. And so in this case, what you don't care about is idle. What you care about is what is it doing at max load. So.
Thing is with idle as well is like idle can vary depend on just like your climate that you're living in too.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, I currently have a 3080 Ti graphics card. Should I consider upgrading my GPU now, or is it better to wait? Okay, this is always a very hard question. For NVIDIA, you're not gonna see a cheaper price, and I also don't think the same thing's gonna happen for the 9070 or the 9070 XT. We are close-ish, but this is all rumor, to the new Supers. So the Supers are always like kind of the better version of whatever the 50 series is going to be. The 40 series Supers were in some cases better, and in the case of the 4080 Super, actually cheaper than the original 4080. If your games are running well, Spider 879 right now, then I would hold off. But if you find the need to do it and you're hurting your experience significantly, then I would say doing it now is fine. No matter what, new tech is always coming. So it's always, you know, it really comes down to you in terms of how badly do you need the upgrade on whether you can wait or not. If it's not bad and your experiences are more than fine for the games you're playing, then waiting is a completely good option. But if you want to play something and it's going to hurt your ability to play it, then upgrading now is going to be completely fine. Exactly, in need of temperance, put it there. Okay, so that is, wow, we have spent a lot of time not talking about parts, but there we go, that is that. Okay, for GPU for this, guys, we are going AMD. So I had a really, really good question. This is something where tech chat over at discord.gg/Robeytech came in clutch. I had a really, really good discussion about, hey, should I use the RX 9070 or should I use the NVIDIA RTX 5070? And this is a little bit for me, I was like, man, it just feels like the 5070, but a couple things that were pointed out to me on this specifically. Number one, there's a lot that this GPU can do for cheaper. It has a tendency to be less expensive. It does have more VRAM, though I'm not as sold on the whole VRAM thing as everybody else. Again, there are certain cases where if you want to play at higher settings, here's a deal. At higher settings, games are less optimized. So if you care a lot about graphics performance and you want to play at max settings, then having more VRAM in that case will actually be ideal. If you don't change your settings at all, VRAM matters very little because developers optimize for what are called recommended settings, and they go off of what is essentially on an Xbox or on a PlayStation 5, which is a 12 gigabyte shared pool, and then again, some of that goes to the OS. So they're actually playing with anywhere between 6 and 8 gigs of VRAM at any one point in time. So anyway, the thing is that in the end, the 5070 was a little bit more niche in terms of what it needed, and this felt like, hey, I can get more bang for my buck. And then here's the deal. If you're looking at this and saying like, I really play games like Cyberpunk, or I really play games like Indiana Jones or anything like that, that's where I'd see maybe moving over to the 5070. And that's where, you know, always choosing between an AMD and an NVIDIA GPU is very game dependent, depending on the games. FPSs, you play classic titles, you don't play a lot of single player, high campaign, you know, heavy DLSS NVIDIA formatted titles, then this is a perfectly fine card and you're gonna save some money and be very, very happy with the performance. If you're gonna play a lot of NVIDIA specific big AAA titles, then I would go NVIDIA in that case. AMD does have great drivers now. That's something that they have been way better about this time, which is actually pretty cool. Let me see, somebody said something about about an email.
Saying emails we were sending to him were going into his junk folder.
Oh, okay. I don't know, Braxel, I don't know what email you sent, but if you if you respond again, I'll see what it is. I don't, guys, we get a lot of emails, so just be clear. Okay. Oh, I'm not. No, I am wearing the, oh, I'm not wearing the Oakleys. No, but what I do need to do is turn these on. I forgot to, no, I have to go get them prescriptioned. So they got to get prescriptioned. And oh, by the way, it reminds me, we need to get add some spice to that. We forgot, yeah. I thought about it too. Okay, so for cooler, I was actually pretty excited about this because this ended up being a super killer AIO, and this is the Frozen Warframe 360 ARG Black. In fact, Connor and I are going to be recording a video later today about answering a question somebody made. Hey, what's a good AIO with the screen? This is probably my top recommendation for budget AIO with the screen. There's also the Frozen Warframe SE, but this one has a better screen, it has more color options, and then frankly, it did a really, really good job for being only $80. So I think the thing that's super impressive about this is the price, the performance, all that stuff. It was in the like top 6 of the overall, all of our AIOs tested, and it's 80 bucks, 5-year warranty. And so very, very impressed with this AIO, and I was like, you know what, I want to put it in a build, and given this is a budget build, and we're using a 7800X3D, this felt like a good AIO to put this in there. The Wonder Vision is $250, Darth Tater. The performance on it is okay. It's better than the Panorama SE. I do know that. Our review for that is going to be coming out in, I'd say, about a week and a half. So we have the script is being written, and the review should be out very, very soon. Yeah, it's $80. So. And it is. Frozen Warframe is a great name for an AIO. So you're like, oh, dude, what is that? That's the Frozen Warframe. I mean, you sound awesome when you say it. And then lastly, I'm back to my new favorite PSUs. Honestly, they have cable combs. They're very easy to cable manage. I can't say enough. They're beautiful, beautiful PSUs. And so this is the RM850E. It's 119 bucks right now. And which is cheaper than the Asus Tough Gold, and it just feels like it has more options, and it's going to be just really, really easy. So I don't, like I said, I save 30 bucks just not having to do cable extensions because it's pretty enough. And you have that direct. If I was doing if you decide to do an NVIDIA card over an AMD card, and you're looking at this build and wanting to follow along, you can just do a direct connection right there and not have any issue whatsoever, which is pretty cool. And there are even AMD cards that also do 16 pins as well. So anyway, guys, that is all of our parts. I got to come up across. I've learned some things about these first-person builds. Make sure you look down more. So anyway, so this is it. That is our build, and these look like some really, really great parts. There we go. Let's get it started. Okay, so there's all our parts. Let's get everything stripped down and ready to go. The Lian Li Edge is also a fantastic PSU. The only thing I will say about the Edge, and if you got the Edge, or did you get the EG1000 or the Edge 1000 Xeno, the Cyber F-Wagon? Why the F-Wagon? But anyway, which one did you get? Because if you get the Edge 1000, it comes with a bunch of pre-installed cable combs. If you get the EG 1000, the cable combs are not pre-installed. You get one, and the installation for the cable combs is mind-angering. So just be patient. That's all I'm going to say. We do not have the meter for RAM clicks. Sorry, I'm a terrible person. I make special, yeah. So just be patient is all I'm saying, Xeno. Is like if it has the ones you need to install, just take your time. Maybe do it when you're not angry, when you're at a zen moment, and then you should be fine. Steven, your build is, we just got finished scheduling at August, so I should be able to tell you that now pretty soon. Okay, let's go to top down your, okay, there we go. You already did it. This is what I love about having awesome people. Okay, there we go, guys. So here is our stuff. Yeah, there's a lot. Dude, Thermarite has so many bloomin' AIOs, dude. I wish we could sit here and... We're trying. Like, we're going through AIO reviews like it's Christmas, dude. Like...
Thermalright, they own their manufacturing or something?
Oh, really? Maybe that's...
how they're able to keep their prices so low.
Dude, so low.
Huge advantage.
Yeah, it's so low what they're able to do. So we finally have some ID cooling ones that are gonna be here soon, and some other ones too. So yeah, it's coming up here. Okay, so let's grab this, pull this over. Now again, you can always tell when we're doing a budget build because the Mobos kind of take a step. They're a little bit more basic, but I mean, that's not to say this isn't a perfectly fine Mobo. And honestly, ASRock makes great motherboards. Okay, so let's grab our CPU. It's been a while since we've done 7000 series. So much so that oh, it's not open. This is literally a brand new CPU. I was like, why is this not opening? There we go. Now it's open. So brand new CPU. The WandaVision for 144. Okay, so that's nice. I mean, honestly, the WonderVision is, and that doesn't surprise me. I feel like we saw it when we got it when it first came out, so it was pretty pricey, and I was like, holy moly! But it did review well. So let me just say that this is ATX, not a mini ATX. So, and if you see our build maps have like. Over here on the left, you can see the difference between mini ITX, mini DTX, micro ATX, and ATX. So the larger one is ATX, and then micro ATX, as you can see, usually cuts down some lanes. Okay, there's that. Let's get our CPU installed here. Open that up there. Boom, there we go. Pop it. Ooh, not a very big pop though. Okay, so there is our CPU install. Let's go ahead and get our RAM in now. With this, yes, absolutely DevTrend. This would absolutely be able to do 1440p and gaming and streaming. I wish the jump from a 9070 to a 9070 XT or the 5070 to a 5070 Ti wasn't so high. If you could save a little bit and go up to 2000 and go to a 9070 XT or a 5070 Ti, I think that would, I think you would be happier, DevTrend. But this one can do it and it will do it for a while. I just think you'll get more for that extra $200 is my opinion. Okay, here we go. Ooh, those were pretty good clicks. Ooh, those are good clicks. Okay, so there's that. So that's nice and solid. So far, it's coming together pretty nicely. I think one of the things we should do, let's get our NVMe installed. Now, dude, check it out. We have how many slots? We have 4 slots for NVMe. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 4 slots for NVMe. That's pretty good. There's your Wi-Fi. There's your coin. Don't eat it, right? We've learned that, right? And then there's your chipset. You got a couple 4 SATA. You got 2 RGB up at the top, which is, I mean, like I said, this is a perfectly functional board. It's light on the aesthetics. That's maybe the way to think of it, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I remember, I liked it when they used to pop out Kurosaki. That was my favorite, personally. Okay, let's go to top down. Here we go. There we go. Perfect. And this still has like the latchless stuff, which is nice. Boom, flip it out. There we go. That out of the way. Okay, here we go. See how this is. This nice little latch thing here. Okay, cool. There we go, and then flip that around. Got a good solid click, and we're good there. Now we just got to do is put the, we almost forgot the peel. Peel time. Very appealing. Yeah, I like those. So usually the top one is controlled by the top lane, by the CPU, and the other ones are additional ones are controlled by the chipset. There we go. Oh, I was like, where's the, okay. Which direction does the NVMe thing go? Okay, the angle is by the slot. Sometimes it's not marked, so I don't know. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right, it's always a little bit harder there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we got NVMe, everything's installed now. So now we can look at focusing on getting our cooler bits added. Cooler bits, that sounds weird. You guys know what I'm saying, right? You guys get me. So Shockwave, I just did a short video on that. So if you guys want to look that up, it talks a little bit about it. But for 32 gigs for gaming is totally fine. There's not many games yet that use 32 gigs, so you should be good, and you should be good for a while. Would you recommend? I don't think so. I think the only thing that you would dev trend if you're thinking about partitioning a drive is if you are concerned that you're not going to have the, what's the word I'm looking at? The, not the word, what is it called? Where you're not gonna be responsible enough to make sure that your drive doesn't fill out. The one thing is that this one, because it has DRAM on it, it doesn't have as much of an issue when it fills up as you would if something with a DRAM-less NVMe drive would. So if you're worried that if you're not going to be responsible and keep your drive 3/4 empty, then partitioning might make sense. So that way you can make sure your OS drive only has your OS and some small applications, and then that way you're not going to see performance degradation. Usually with 2 terabytes, you should be fine. But again, like I said, you want to kind of keep it at 75%, and then if you're going higher than that, then you need to delete some things. Wasn't sure where the bottleneck. Cooler bits, oh yeah, it does. The cooler bits do sound kind of naughty. I do agree. The bottleneck on this should be the GPU. For a 700X3D is not going to be the bottleneck here. It's going to be the GPU, which is good. Shockwave, I would definitely recommend just given with DDR5 2x16 versus 4x8. DDR4, I think this will get better over time, but right now, specifically for DDR5, that is the better play. Okay, so we're going to be taking the stuff off here. Here we go. There we go. No, the 9070 XT will be the bottleneck in that case. 9800 X3D it's at 1440p and 4K, the GPU will be the bottleneck, not the CPU. And that's what that's because the GPU is being used way more. Oh, double music. Stupid double music. Stop being double music. So I'm wondering, because this kind of feels like, yeah, I think this is going to be, oh, it's AM4. I think AM4 and AM5 are going to be the same because that's Intel.
Train had a good question about a sound card.
Oh, what was this question?
I was just asking, can a high def sound card be added? But like, you know, should you? Like, is the motherboard sound not good enough?
Yeah, usually, like, it really comes down to, I do know that there are still folks who do like DACs or high-end sound cards. It really comes down, that is a very need-specific thing. So that comes down to what you need. How important are topics asked? They can be detrimental, Kindred. They can be detrimental, so it's just, you want to be careful. You want to make sure that one is in front and one is behind, and that it's not whatever the one is behind is not stealing air from the other one, so they make sure the air cooler is getting more than enough airflow. But it can be important. It just depends on your temps. If your temps are fine, you don't need to add anything. But it can be important, yeah. I know, Shockwave, that was like me back in the day, but that's just kind of a limitation of DDR5, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't, but that's just kind of the world we live in until memory controllers can do a better job with 4 sticks of DDR5. Okay, here we go. We're just gonna get these in now. Yes, Daredy, absolutely. I think I just answered I think you were asked a question, but yes, is the $200 worth it? Yes, a 5080 will run 1440p for a really long time. You're gonna be very happy, like the gentleman with the 3080 Ti. You'll be coming back when we're on like the 7080s and be like, hey, should I upgrade my 5080? And it's like, you're still gonna be happy with it. Like, the fact that you're even questioning it tells you that you have a powerful card. Any chance you could point out on your case where you're, I think I don't have it on, oh, well, yeah, when I get up here, I'll show you what I mean, if I was gonna do an air cooler. Just remind me again. Lots of questions today, that's good. I'll take it. Okay, guys, don't forget, we're 65 likes. When we get to 150, we give away a $15 new gift card, or $15 gift card in general. So head on over to youtube.com/Robeytech Live. Hit that thumbs up button. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Now everything is set. It's all installed, ready to go. So we're at the point where we can do, I think we're gonna have to put thermal paste on this because I realized that this is not a new AIO, which is fine. So let's get some thermal paste on this. Thermal paste art. I don't know what we're doing though. Hey, Landsworth dropping 10 gifted subs. Thank you, my man. I really appreciate it. Do we have a thermal paste art suggestion today, Blondie? I'll do that next. She's gonna pull it. If you guys want, I don't know where to go in there. She has the thing. So if you want to get a submission in, make sure you reach out to Blondie. She'll tell you where to put it. Okay, let's get out our thermal paste. We can start getting it prepped. There we go. Any gaming keyboard suggestions? Doma, look at the Maker 75 keyboards from Corsair. I was pretty impressed with those, and you can make some nice custom keyboards for those. I really, really enjoyed those. and you get to kind of build it and customize it the way you want. We have some keyboard and gaming episodes coming up in August where we're going to be building those out. But I think those might be a solid suggestion. I don't know if folks have another one.
I hear the Wu-Tang keyboards are good if you're into like competitive gaming.
Oh, there you go.
They're a little expensive though.
He's got a $150 Mac, so. Robeytech oh, okay, Robeytech logo. Okay, there we go, RT logo today. The Wu-Ting. Wu-Ting or Wo-Ting?
Like W-O-O-T-I-N-G.
I-N-G, yeah. Yeah, somebody, Becker had said the same thing. Beaker had said the same thing. Yeah, and I've heard good things about those. Okay, here we go, guys. RT logo. Okay, let me see. I'm going to look at it. You'd think I'd know it, but it's very angular. Okay, here we go. I feel like I got to do a good job with this one.
Two very conflicting statements about the Wu-Tang. I have the Wu-Tang, it's been 4 years, still going strong. And then Braxel says, I have a Wu-Tang, I do not like it, and mistypes all the time.
Wow, okay. I think I
research, make sure you know what's up with it before you buy it.
Guys, I think this is terrible. I kind of did a terrible job, but I made the RT too far over. But the T is white, so I got to kind of clean it out here. The worst thermal paste RT ever. There you go. It's pretty bad. Let's zoom in on that so you can get it full graphical awesomeness that was that pretty bad RT logo. It's pretty bad. That doesn't even look close. That is the worst. No, I'm not picking up at the logo, I promise. I'm not Dr. Lupo. I don't lie when I'm cheating. Wow, that was actually pretty shady. Okay, there we go. We've erased it so we get good thermal still. There we go. What is your take on stream and card processing company things? I don't know what that is.
So what that is MasterCard and Visa, I believe. There's something about them talking to Steam directly to prevent them from taking transactions for 18 plus games or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like, and because of that, I think Steam and some other vendor, I don't remember which one, but they are taking down a bunch of games that essentially don't make the list for what MasterCard's okay with.
Wow, really? I haven't even looked.
Are 18 plus adult games, a lot of them.
Okay, so that's probably why I don't know a whole lot about this. So basically, are these 18, are they, like, what are they, what games are 18 plus?
They're gross games that...
Like, what do you, like, is it like,
probably not family friendly.
Okay.
If you want to just cut it there.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know. Dude, censorship is so crazy. I guess the thing is that I have no idea what kind of games about. Okay, everybody says think about it. I was thinking about it, and so I was like, are there really games for that? Like, are they like, you know what I mean? Like, that seems interesting. So. Oh my gosh, I'm not getting into this.
You can pass that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass on this one because it's like one of those things that it's like, censorship is such a touchy title, and it all comes down to how easy it is for people to get access to it, and who's seeing it, and all that sort of stuff. And it's just got to be like it's a personal thing. I mean, that's crazy. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna read and get back to you. I may just not chime in on this at all. So, yeah. But I will tell you this: my thermal paste art was terrible. Let's just go with that. So, I don't know if that's something I'll get back to. That's crazy. Okay, so this is all done. This is all done. And this is all done. Yeah, I don't want to go fight. Like, I'm like, Brenda, I was like totally seeing what these things are. And based on when somebody says think about it, that usually means that it's not something I want to do or even look at, right? So I'm going to go put this over here.
To be fair, you didn't know anything about it until I started explaining it.
Yeah, I didn't know anything.
All over social media, people talking about it. So.
Yeah, and so the thing is, I'll be honest, guys, I'm off Twitter. Like, I got rid of Twitter because it just, like, the stuff it kept feeding me was just not okay. I don't see much on, like, Instagram is mostly stories and it's stuff that is feeding me directly from the people I follow. So mostly what I see is tech news and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, so let's get this open now and go from there. And get this open here, and then we'll go from here. Let's start getting the case stripped and going that way. Okay, so here we go. First one is there we go. There's that. Okay, so there's that one. And like I said, it's already got, so let's look at this one. There we go. Boom. Okay, next part is this is for the back. There we go. Now the cool thing about this, guys, check this out, is in the back here for this $90 case is you actually get a full shroud, which is actually pretty neat. I don't know if you guys saw my video on this, but there is actually a full shroud here, which is actually pretty cool. So that means that where did my, oh, there it is. I was looking for my cable, my things. Okay, so there's that. So Nuera, you could email me and we could just basically build it for you and we can figure out what you want to spend and build you the best one if you wanted to. Just go to robeytech.com and then just send an email and we'll build it. We build it here on stream. Okay, so here we go. We just pull this out. Just like that. And then you actually have like a full shroud here. Except for, I think I broke it, maybe. No. How does this work? Oh, I think I broke, no?
No, there's just the tabs just go in.
Oh, the tabs go in. It's not, yeah, so the tabs go in and that's how you basically move it around. Okay, so there's little tabs, which is actually less chance of breaking versus the, versus little nubs, which I broke the nub on the other one, right? So it just pulls out and then just slips right out, which is actually pretty cool.
54 says reminder to show the top exhaust thing.
Yeah, so here's the deal. So Kindred, if your PC cooler, let's say this is your CPU tower cooler, what you want to do is you want to have an intake fan in front of it, so that way it's feeding down and feeding air too. And then you want to make sure the exhaust fan is behind it. Let's say, for instance, you put 3 exhaust fans. Any intake air is going to get pulled up and away from the CPU. So basically you just want to be really, really thoughtful about making sure that air is being fed to it and then air coming out of it is being pulled out of the case. So you want your exhaust and your intake to be in front and behind it, not on top of it, if that makes sense. So yeah. Shockwave says for intake it depends. So the other thing too is that if you want to have neutral pressure, then yes, you want the same number of intake and exhaust fans. And when I say neutral pressure, that means that the pressure on the outside of the case and the pressure on the inside of the case is the same. Most cases you want what's called positive pressure, which means you want more pressure inside of the case, which has does a better job of keeping dust from getting inside. Negative airflow is usually a negative pressure case, which is where case on the, like, it's always pulling air through. The thing that's really nice about that is it's better for temps, but it's worse for dust. So if you live in a house that's full of dander and stuff like that, then all in all, you're just gonna pull a lot of dust into your case. So I have a tendency to go slightly positive, which means I have more intake than I do exhaust. So that's what I do. All right, so there we go. I think we got everything out there now. Look, it's got double. You could actually like clamp your GPU, your sag bracket. So it's double sag bracket. Yeah. This is the first time I've ever built in a Dark Flash. And then look, you got mic, headphone, 2 USB 3, you've got a USB-C, reset, and a power button. So pretty straightforward there. So I don't know, man, not bad. It's not a heavy case. You can, if you want to, remove this extra glass. There's just 2 screws here, and then you can remove this as well if you wanted to, making it probably a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. It probably makes it a little bit easier to install your AIO. So you just don't have anything in here, and then we just have less glass to worry about. There we go. So we'll get that out. At least, I like the fact that at least it doesn't look completely like a lunchbox. Okay. Maybe it, oh, no, maybe. Can't tell if this is. Huh. Wait, I guess it doesn't come off that easily, so never mind. I'm gonna put those back on. I thought it came off easily, it doesn't. So there we go. We learned something together. It doesn't come off easily. Put that back in there. Why is the case shaped the way? This is how Dark Flash designed it. We could check their website. I like that it's not necessarily like just a square case, right? It has a little bit of variation to it, which I think is nice. Okay, so let's get this down. Check the music. It looks like it's fine. The volume's still the same. Yeah, sounds fine. Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's a good question. Where is our extra stuff? Okay, I see the case. I think I gotta go look and find out where all the hardware is. Yeah, I can hear fine. I'm gonna pop in behind you. I gotta go see where my hardware is. I don't know where it is. Is the box up here? Kind of a critical component here. But we found it. Kind of need the box of screws. It was hidden in the box because it was dark. Okay, so nice case for the screws, which is cool. Says Fly to Unlimited on it. I wonder what that means. Look at that, that's interesting. We're gonna fly to unlimited. This is the Dark Flash DY470. Okay, so let's get this in here. There we go. There it is. Okay, boom. Oh, that didn't help you at all. You got no zoom there. So there you go, now you got it in there. Oh. So there is the case and the CPU installed. Let's show you guys that again, because that's not very fair. I was like zoomed in. Here we go. Here's what it looked like when we put it in. Straightforward, there to the back. And there's a little peg right there in the center. And then there you go, there, now your peg. So that's how it goes in there. Let's lower this down a little bit. I think cases are getting wider because they're trying to create places to add airflow. Okay, so here's what we got inside of this. So inside of this beautiful case, you get some zip ties, which I always appreciate. So some zip ties there. Put those in there, and you get a microfiber cloth. And then you get, look at this, dude, you get a PC speaker. How long has it been since you've seen one of these? There you go, PC speaker. You could hook this up if you wanted to. Okay, so here's our Mobo screws. They give you like just enough screws here. Oops, what's going on here? Do we not have the right? Oh, they didn't give me, dude, this isn't set up for ATX. We missing standoffs. We have to add some standoffs here. To answer your question about why are cases wider, I think they're just trying to find places to add airflow, and so fans on the side, etc. I don't think there's any. It's like no nefarious reason or anything like that. So this is actually set up for micro ATX, or this was set up for, I don't know what this is set up for. It wasn't even set up for anything like average or normal. We're just gonna get our standoffs installed here. There we go. How we doing likes on YouTube, guys? Head on over to youtube.com/Robeytech Live and hit those. By the way, Starry Messenger, thank you very much for the resub. Sergeant Nobody, thank you as always. You're a rock star. And then PC Guy 808 as well. Grab some water here and let's do a dad joke real quick after I put this MOBA back in. Oh yeah, here we go. Now we have all the right standoffs. Okay, there we go. And these actually have little lips so they all grip, which is actually kind of nice. That's actually pretty straightforward. Okay, here we go. Now let's get this in there. There we go. And there we go. I think what else we need? We got a couple more screws here. This actually has like a place for that additional slot, but I'm out of standoffs. DevTrend, you like those? Yeah, if you go to positive pressure, that'll help you with keeping dust out of your system. The only thing just to be aware of is that the cooling may not be as good. That's why like negative, like your Corsair, like i500s and stuff like that, like they use negative pressure. A lot of small form factor builds use a lot of negative pressure, but they just have a lot of airflow going in all directions. Landsworth, it was oh, no, it wasn't. Dude, Landsworth with the save. Because I thought it was just pre-installed, but this board is not. Thank you, Landsworth. And you're okay to bother me. As you guys can see here, we're missing something down here, which I haven't had to install in a long time. So we're gonna get that installed before I got all of the Mobo screws in. There we go. Stay calm and install your AIO shield. Oopsie. Ooh, whoa. I just went through this. It's funny because I was like, oh, why would I need to install it? It's pre-installed. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, let's get that installed. This thing is like having all sorts of like issues I haven't dealt with. Okay, let's grab our AIO shield. Not in there. Must be underneath. Yep, there it is. Trying to hide from me. It's like genuinely afraid now. It's like, no, you found me. I found you, AIO shield. There we go. Still blows my mind that this is still a thing. Here we go. There we go. This thing is not, oh, there it goes. Looks like it's in there. Okay, there we go. Landsworth with the save. There we go. Okay. Now we can put this in, and with an AIO shield. It'll be a slight positive pressure, yes. We'll have, well, actually, it'll be slightly negative. Well, no, it'll be even because we have three intake and 4 exhausts, but the exhausts are through a AIO, which always is not the same. So it'll be it'll be neutral to negative. And I could add one more intake fan and fix that. But again, we are being cost conscious here. What's up, Apex Gus? How are you, man? By the way, we got your update. It was like $100 difference. That was it. So I'll send you that after the show. And I think I have your build scheduled for next month. So I took care of all that stuff last night. So you should be good to go. So look for an email from us, and we can just do that at the end of when it's built. Apex, we'll just bill you when we send your system out. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think that's all the parts. We can do a shockwave. It's not optimal for the fans. Fans on AIOs are high static pressure, and so if you turn them around, they're not high static pressure anymore. You're pulling through the radiator, which is negating the effect of the fans. All right, here we go. Someone complimented my parking today, Connor. They left me a sweet note on my windshield that said, "Parking fine." Ah! What's up, Zenu? Said, "Parking fine. I'm parking fine."
That's one of the better ones.
Yeah, it was one of the better ones. It's all good, Deftrin. No worries. That was bad. Sergeant Nobody says, that was bad. Okay, so we got everything here. All of this is done. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook up our front panel connections. That actually looks pretty good though, right? It's definitely a unique case, which is actually, I think, a good thing.
The
Okay.
fans are sort of giving Lee and Lee a little bit.
They are, right? They have a little bit of that vibe. Okay, all the fans do look like they daisy chain together. So I guess they give you like one fully daisy chained system here. So here's what you need for your fans. Well, it's weird because I actually gave you two. And then your other, I'm trying to find out where our other connections are. There's one over here. Okay, and here's the other one. Let's see what else you got here. Okay, other things you get. So you've got USB 3.2, you've got HD audio, USB-C, which is nice, and you have not a unified front panel connections, front panel headers. That's kind of a pain. And then you have all of your fans. Looks like there's two. That's a daisy chain, so you can. Well, okay, so looks like there's two fan headers and then one RGB connection is what you have so far. So we'll plug all this in. So let's start with this. We have three total. Let's see what we got up here at the top. So I have three here. One is, I'm probably gonna use this for AIO. Okay, so here is, do we have one on the side somewhere? No. And then this is CPU fan 2, and then AIO pump is the gray one. That's interesting. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. So this is, how do I want to do this? What else I got for fan connections? There's one way down there, but that'd be hard to get to. Okay, so I can at least do this. Let's run our RGB right here. There we go. There we go. Trying to get that in there. Man. There you go. Okay, there's RGB. This is just long enough to go here.
Apex Gus gifted 5 gifted subs.
Thank you, Apex Gus. That's awesome. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, there's that. So there's those two. And then we have one more. And then I think I have, where's another, there's a fan header down here. Okay, so I'm gonna try, because it stretches. So I'm gonna go down like this. And then we're gonna run our other fan header underneath here. There we go. Okay, there we go, fan header there. Okay, so now we can do our other cable connections. Next one up is our USB 3.2. Can we get it through the little crack here? I'd like ideally like to do that. Okay, so what we're gonna do, take this and loosen this up. Hopefully it gives it a little bit of give here. There you go. Yeah, there you go. See, you got a little bit of give now. Okay, I want to go the other way. Yep, I'm going to go the other way. Okay, here we go. Wow. There we go. Okay, there we go. So there's that. Pull that in and around. There we go. So there's the USB 3. HD audio will be much thinner. Don't have to worry about that one for unscrewing here. There you go. USB-C. Wow. Because they are right direction. There we go. There we go. Okay, there's those two. Now the last one, HD audio. We should be able to go down here. A little bit of work here, but. There we go. Okay. There we go. There's that one. And now all we have is our front panels, which if you do this right, you can actually do them all as a unified. You just got to get everything in the right place. But this is not going to work that way. Okay, so we're going to do them the other way. First thing we need is power plus. There we go. Power minus. Yeah, power plus and minus, power switch, and then reset switch goes under that one. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool. So there we go. All of our front panels are plugged in. Okay, so let's get this just cleaned up in the back now. And we should be able to, looking at this, I think we should be able to daisy chain our AIO directly into the same headers, which should be good. And you have some tie downs here, not a lot, but you have some. Song is very interesting. Yeah, lo-fi PC building. Not a bad song. By the way, there's that other music service that Dev always uses. Yeah, we should probably get a thing for that because I think you guys are saying that it's like you're starting to get a little tired of the stuff that's on the.
Well, I try to find new music for every video. And I think that's part of the reason why we're running into issues is like it says, it'll tell you when you downloaded something already. Right. So, and we all use the same account so we can see who else.
Oh.
So like when Kyler goes to grab music, it'll be like, oh, downloaded, because I've just gone through the list and I've just picked out everything.
Right.
So I think just like having a second library to help with that.
I think would be a good thing, right? Yeah, and I've heard good things about Epidemic. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts on Epidemic or anything like that, but
I'm technically schmooching off of Deb's Epidemic account.
Oh, okay.
For some of them, and it's good. It's a good
yeah, we should probably get a thing. Ties over Velcro ties, smaller, easier. So the main reason I like Velcro, I don't like Velcro ties, and it's just a personal choice, is that getting the tightness, it's the ability to control with zip ties is just easier. And the other thing too is you can do it just as fast. And they're so inexpensive for the amount of, they're just so inexpensive that it just feels like what you get for them is just better. But if you, hold on.
Raxel, that's not Justin's dad, that is Santa.
Okay, let's get that up here. Yeah, when my dad played. That was the real Santa, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm just gonna clean this little, what's left of this kind of thing up, what I'm working on here. Yeah, that's a real Santa, dude. Why you hate? Hey, thanks for the subs, guys. And if you're over on YouTube and you've been enjoying this, make sure that you sub over there too. Subscribe. It's free. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. I'm not part of the zip tie lobby. There's not a zip tie. If there's a zip tie lobby, then yeah, I probably should be part of it. I think I help support zip tie companies single-handedly. Okay, that looks pretty clean. Snip time. If any of you have had.
Tier 1 resub.
Oh, thank you very much, dude. Thank you, Braxel. Okay, and if any of you guys have had vasectomies and this is making you nervous, don't worry. This is not. It's just me snipping zip ties, not anything else. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. There is actually a doctor here in Seattle. His name is Dr. Snip, and that's what he does. Which I think is funny. Sergeant Nobody, been there, done that. Did you get it at Dr. Snip? He's very famous here. I don't know. I have no idea how we got on that subject. I was talking about snipping zip ties, and I was like, you know what? Somebody might be like, wait, what? That's giving me like PTSD. There we go. That looks nice and clean, right? We got this available easily to get access to. That looks good. There we go. Looks nice and clean, yeah? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so next up, guys, AIO time. Shockwave, who needs cable management? Just let them fall everywhere. Yes, that is an option. If you're evil. Oh yeah, pop that up. Looks nice and clean in the front. I think that looks good, right? Can't see. Doesn't seem bad. Okay, so let's grab our Warframe here. Oh, I forgot. I took out one screw in the middle here. Oh, there it goes. I knew that was gonna happen. It's this song too, every time.
It stuttered when you started playing.
Yeah, you're like, no! Okay, now, the one thing that's nice, for 80 bucks, this AIO also comes with the fans pre-installed. So it's actually pretty impressive what you get for $80. Okay, so here's all that. Okay, now we need. Oh, I was going through, and I'd said this earlier. Nobody really. I mean, some people made suggestions, but they weren't. For lack of a better term, like they weren't like. None of them ended up being like awesome outside of the 7800X3D one. Like one guy was like, "Oh, choose this, it's cheaper," and then it wasn't cheaper. So in the end, it was like a team effort. But I'll be honest, only like 1,000 people watched that stream, video, and not very many comments. So it wasn't as good as I'd hoped. So hopefully, we're gonna do another one, and we're hoping that there's better participation in the next one.
You just gotta plug it more.
Yeah, I think it just, yeah. But this is so this is like a mixture of basically looking at the spirit and making changes based on the spirit of what people were saying. The frozen Warframe, yep. Okay, let's get this out because this will all daisy chain together. Yeah. Well, B850 gets you a Gen 5 PCI slot, so upgradability. And it was like it wasn't actually that expensive. It was nothing about whether it was bad or good. The other thing too is that some of the parts, like the 7800X3D was like at the time when we'd chosen this was a really, really good price. And we weren't going to switch all the way to like we weren't going to switch to Intel because that would have been a much bigger switch. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so let's daisy chain all these together. And then we'll run them into the same header. There we go. It looks like you can daisy chain all the fans together too. That is not the... There we go. There we go. So these all daisy chain together, which is nice. Yeah, they're not as nice as there are some thermal rate ones, like the Warframe SE has really nice daisy chainable fans, which is actually pretty nice. So it saves you in that regard. And it actually comes with a 3-fan splitter, which is nice. So I'll be able to use that to help with our fan management issue that I was dealing with earlier. So I'm gonna disconnect, well, this one's CPU fan, so actually I'll be fine, I don't need to. So we're actually in good shape, because we'll do our AIO pump there, so we don't even need this, which is cool. Should all work out the way I need it to. That I like. Okay, wait, where is all my... So I am missing stuff out of this bag, I just realized. I'm just gonna take all this out again, because I don't have my screws. I'm doing good, Mark, how are you? Thank you for saying hi. There's all those. Perfect. Okay. And there's our pump header right there. Figure all this stuff out here in a second, but that's the AIO pump head is gray, which is interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. And then CPU is gonna go. So this is gonna plug into this right here. That's your fans, okay? And RGB is gonna run down. Okay, don't worry about the rest of it. Just wanna get everything kind of into the right place right now. Yes, Stinky, we do. There we go. There we go. Easy to install there. Got like weirdly enough room here. There we go. Okay, so there we go. That's in now. A lot of cables sticking out, but that's okay. Now we'll get it all cable managed here.
Says, why is this not counted as a budget build?
Because it's over 1,000. Budget builds are supposed to be sub $1,000. So we had some times where we were doing like we were like, oh well, let's just try and do the cheapest 9070 or whatever it was. But people's reaction were they weren't budget, and we're like, well, that's fair. You're not wrong. So we're trying to be a little bit more straightforward with that, but. Yeah, they're not technically budget, so that's why. Okay, let's get this mounted, and then we'll hide this cable, and then we'll figure out the rest here. I think what I should have done, and I didn't do, is put might have to do that. Check that here in a minute. That's just the screen, all fine. Huh, interesting. Okay, so this is what. Okay, so this has just got posts, which is really nice. There we go. And the posts are really high, which makes it really easy to. Here we go. Perfect. We have our little screen here, and it's magnetic, and I can flip it, put it wherever I want if I want to, but we'll just put it here for now. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is let's make this look nice. There we go. Grab this cable. Okay, now we got to work on making it look pretty. There we go. Okay, now I think what I need to do here is I need a zip tie here. And then we're going to take this out and zip tie this stuff together up here in the back to give it a little bit more of a channeled vibe here. So up here at the top, actually we can show a top-down camera, you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna switch it to top down. So up here at the top, so you guys can see, yeah, what I'm doing is I'm creating a channel of cables, which is what I usually do, and I just forgot this time. So the main reason is so it just makes it a whole lot easier for the cables to be taut up here. And then they end up being one single cable group coming down. Ooh, shoot, that was not smart. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Just knocking everything right now. There we go. Okay.
Raxel, post the question again. It's already scrolled past. We can't see it.
There we go. What was the question? Sorry, I was just trying to get this AIO to.
I don't know. Hold it. Post it again.
How do you know if you're so unless it's refillable? Sometimes it's gurgling sounds. That's like a big one. So if you hear gurgling sounds, the other thing too is if you know, ooh, that is not the right. I don't even know where that thing came from. Gurgling sounds, which can be multiple things. Temps being lower, right? But for the most part, most AIOs you can't refill. Be Quiet, and I think a few others actually have ones you can refill, but most you can't refill and shouldn't try. So, they usually, Zemu, thank you very much for the 3-month at Tier 2. Zenu, sorry. But most don't. It takes a long time, like years, for them to deal with, to get to the point where they are dealing with evaporation. And remember, they're not actually water. They're a glycol water mix. So it's not the same thing. Just something to be aware of. Ooh, that star pattern actually looks pretty cool. I pulled it through here. Trying to get this to be taut. There we go. Okay. One more thing, and then actually cable manage and finish putting all these in. Okay, there we go. So there's that. Way more cables than I would like, but there we go. It's in. How we doing likes on YouTube, guys? Exactly what Araxnus said. No, AIOs aren't meant to be filled up. It's better to just, after 4 or 5 years, to just replace them. And only if you're seeing thermal issues. The other thing too is that somebody said that replacing thermal paste, I've had systems that have been running the same thermal paste for years. So I don't know, that might be an interesting one. I have a system I haven't replaced it on for 2 years. I might see if I actually see better temps before and after, because they're like, it says it dries out, and it's like, actually it doesn't. So. Keep going, guys. Got to get to 150. Unlike that first giveaway. That sounds wrong. because it was wrong. AIOs are near the same. Honestly, liquid water cooling, like custom liquid cooling, is not worth what it used to be in terms of the temps and everything else, because overclocking has changed. So people who do that are really doing it because they just love it and they love how it looks, but it requires a pretty substantial amount of maintenance. There we go. Okay, so let me see. I dropped this, so I gotta route this because I keep dropping it and I'm not supposed to. Let's see if this is long enough. It should be. It feels more than long enough. Okay, that's good. Okay, so this is gonna route down right here in the middle. There we go. And then it's gonna go right here. There's our USB for our AIO. There we go. Okay. Okay, now guys, time to get time to get this cable managed. Get all this stuff put away. All this yucky yuck put away. Put that over there. Now we can just focus on the cable management. Focus on what brings people joy. Cable management. It's plenty. It is actually plenty bright inside the case. I can see pretty well. I think it comes out darker. I think it's darker looking on the screen than it actually is in the studio. And that's just for aesthetic appeal. Because if we blew it out, people would be like, "Why is it so bright?" Turdog. I read somewhere that people who don't like cable management are less likely to be good lovers. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I didn't say it. I just read it somewhere in a very scientific magazine. It was very scientific where I read it. It was called Science Magazine for Sciencey People. That's what it was. That was the name of the magazine. Braxel, you're totally fine. Ask all the questions. Huh?
Dad joke.
Oh, dad joke. Awesome. There we go. Figment's like, we're not going to keep that conversation going. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. What kind of music do chiropractors like? What kind of music do chiropractors like? Do you know? Hip hop. Hip hop. That's pretty good. Hip hop. That's pretty good. You get it? Hip hop. Hip hop. All right, here we go. I think what is that? There's some.
I heard that too.
Yeah, but what is it? Oh, it's this. It's a cover. Okay, there we go. Now to get all this craziness under control. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, which is our AIO and all of its lighting, and we're gonna daisy chain into this. That'll take care of that. There we go. And then, let's see what we can do here. See what kind of options we have here for making this look pretty. So this, it does actually fall pretty nicely here. This seems like it's gonna curl up here. So I think if we curl this, some of this stuff up. There we go. I mean, all in all, like I have no issue with we'll run that down the spine there. There we go. There we go. Nice clean look there. Run this one up. Kind of do the same thing. Okay, that cleans that up pretty significantly. There we go. Nice clean look there. And we can actually, what we can do is cable manage this into this little spot here because we still have the still have the PSU that's got to go in, but I'm just going to do the spine method of cable management here. It's a dual chamber case, so it's a little bit more straightforward in that regard. There we go. So now all of our RGB stuff is kind of all in one area. There we go. And you still got access to your extensions if you need them. There you go. Nice big kind of cable spine there, which is going to be easy. Now our AIO's done. Everything's wired in, clean and out of the way. And now what we can do is take a look at how does it look in the front. Some of that will get hidden with the black here. There's this one cable. There we go. Looks good. Everything's pretty clean. Okay, let's get our GPU in. I didn't see a Molex connector. It looks pretty clean from here. All the wire, all the stuff. Yeah, there we go. AIO's installed, screen's installed. Okay, let's do our AI GPU. We're using the AMD Radeon ASRock. So that's the other thing too, is we have ASRock and ASRock, which is another reason we chose that motherboard, because we can use polychrome for everything, just being minimalistic with our software. So I like to keep things with as little amount of overhead programming as absolutely possible. So here we go. Boom. Look at that. What do you think? That looks pretty good, right? Huh? You guys think, huh? Pretty clean, simple, nothing too crazy there. Got some peels here. They actually provide more power than SATA. So there are certain circumstances, though now they're at the point where they're adding PCI, right? So like for like IQ Link and a lot of powered hubs, they're actually just doing PCI connectors. Given the 16 pins are being used by GPUs for most people, or especially on newer systems. So that's been kind of interesting. There we go. And then let's go to the other side. Find the best place, there it is. Boom. Challenger D. Now the question is, what do you think? Do you think there's some in the middle here? Look like there's peels here. Nope, I found one. There's that one. Next one. There we go.
Someone on YouTube is asking if there's still issues with X3D chips and ASRock boards.
No. They have BIOS fixed the oblivion out of that, from what I understand. So no. As long as you're running the latest BIOSes, just like the 14th gen or 13th gen issues, you're gonna be fine. Okay, there we go. Okay. Where's the Molex emote? I like that. Why do we not have a Molex emote? I thought we did. Molex ooh. Oh, she did. She said we do. Oh, there it is. There it is, Molex. Admiral Dinas, thank you very much for the sub. 19 months of tier 1. Okay, there we go. Let us, oops, get the book back in here. Drink. Okay, here we go. 2-slot card, 2-slot drool. Or, I don't even know what that means. 2-slot card, 2 slots being removed. There we go. There's 1 and 2. Time to put in the GPU. Boom, that went in nicely. What do you guys think? Looks good, right? I think this build's very unique. I haven't built anything like this. I always like building in new cases. We need 11 more likes on YouTube to give away a $15 gift card. Go ahead and hit those likes, guys. There you go. Okay. We are near the end, guys. All we got to do is put on our PSU, and then we're good to go. So let's flip it over. Ugh. Okay, RM850E. Now real quick, guys, since we've been a while, we've almost 200 plus people here. I don't even know how many people we have on YouTube. We have an AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D, the ASRock B850 Pro A Wi-Fi. We have the ASRock Challenger Radeon RX 9070, WD Black SN850X 2TB Gen 4 NVMe drive. We have G.Skill Triton Z5 Neo RGB 32 gigs at 6000 mega transfer. The Dark Flash DY470 is the case. We have the Thermalright Frozen Warframe Pro 360 ARGB, and then the Corsair RM850E coming in for a total of just at $1,800 for this total build. Okay, so here we go. Time to get our PSU out. There we go. I like the cables and stuff on this. I mean, look at these, dude. It's so nice. Comes out in one giant chunk there. And there's our PSU too. And there we go. Safety stays inside. That says for PSU. That's useful. I can ask for one. I haven't asked for that, Araxis. I need to ask them to see if we can get a case. We have a fractal case coming up. I don't know when. It's this month. I do know it's on the agenda. I just don't remember the name of it.
A new one?
Yeah, we have a new. That's a new budget one, and performance focused.
Is it embargoed?
No. Oh. It came out. Yeah, that's right. The fractal epoch. Yeah. Yeah, it's not embargoed. The embargo was lifted already.
I didn't want to say it before I knew whether it was embargoed or not.
Yeah, fair. Okay, here we go. Woo! That's some lovely smell right there. Ooh. Oh man, the Corsair ones are stinky. They're stinky. Oh man. Smells like ozone. There we go. Okay, so we need out of here, because I can't cut this because I gotta keep these. This build's being taken apart. It's my new best friend, yeah, because of the cable, because it's got cable combs on it, right? So it's the same cables, but now with cable combs. And I think the cable combs just like take those same lovely cables and make them look better. So yeah. The RM850s are my new ones. It's not Braxel. Thanks, Kevin. There we go. There's that. Okay, we have, this is CPU. Dude, that shift, man, dude, that was a cable comb nightmare. Okay, do I have any? I don't have any SATA or Molex or anything to plug in now. Okay. It's the second one. I don't need that. I don't need that. No Molex, ooh. No SATA, ooh. I mean, no, nobody's bad about SATA. SATA's good. Okay, is this one 2? Yeah, this is the 2 one. Okay. And then this is 16 pin to 2 8 pin, so we'll use this. Okay. There's all of the cables I need for this PSU. It's like 3. Not yet. I'm for the IQ Link hub, not that I know of, not yet. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's our CPU cable. And then here is our PSU cable. And there we go. There we go. And now 16 pin for 8 pin. And there we go. Okay. There we go. And then we're just gonna start it. So we can get them all in and lined up. And PSU is installed, guys. Okay, so there's that. Now all we got to do is run our beautiful cables. Okay, so let's run our first one here, which is going to go out right here. There we go. So we can make this look nice over here. Yeah, that's getting creepy. It's getting crazy. Stop it before it starts killing children. Oop, there you go. Feels like that. Looks pretty nice, actually. If I pull that tight. Okay, so that should be fine. That's your PCI. Okay, this one is gonna go up like this. There you go. And then now all we have left is, it looks like there's a nice place to run these. Now the bottom here.
Braxel, he has the meta glasses, and when he presses the button to record it, we turn those into shorts of like quick cut downs building all the PCs.
Yeah, it's so we can we record first person perspective of this too. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna grab this one. There we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, now it's just about making the front look better. Okay. I'm glad you like it, Kevin. Okay, let's do this. Okay, there we go. I'll cut those here in a minute, just making sure that everything looks good. Now let's just get the back cable managed. What I can do here is just put this oops. There we go. There we go. Hey, got 150 YouTube likes. There we go. Okay. Go.
Hey man, I have a Ryzen RTX 15900 KS and a Snapdragon RTX 9700 XTX. Your thoughts?
Those aren't real.
They're nothing compared to the Core Ultra 9 9080 XTX X3D.
Yeah, that's like, dude, those aren't even real things. 97 RTX 90. That's like, I don't even know how you, are you from the future? Did you find a time warp, time-space continuum? In like, in your alternate reality, that's where NVIDIA and AMD merged together with Intel. There we go. Okay, now what we need to do okay. I think he obviously knows that he's playing with you guys. Go. Now the crazy thing is that there's a shroud back here, so this is all gonna get covered up. But hey, we can still make it look nice.
Cable for me was the biggest challenge being a rookie. I love how the newer cases help in that respect.
Yeah, they do make a big difference, right? When you have all the support for them. Okay. Cables are managed. Looks good, right? What do you guys think? No, we'll cut this one from the front. Kenneth, thank you very much for the sub. Admiral Danos, I think I missed you. Thank you for the sub. There we go. I think the rest of this is like, there was the only one that oh, right here. Here it is. Okay.
You did the side bracket, right?
No, I didn't, actually. I haven't done that yet. Good reminder.
I just remembered it right now.
Yeah, I see it. I was just like, it's a good call. So it looks like it's from the back here. Right here, okay. There we go. Oh, that one didn't open. Okay. I might need to. What is this? Why is this not moving? Oh. Okay, so looks like you have to remove it. A little spot here. There we go. One more. Okay. And now, the opposite side here. Go. Okay. Okay, now. There you go. There we go. There we go. That looked a little high. Or does that look even? Might have made it too. It looks good? Okay. Okay, there we go, guys. You can even, the other thing that's super interesting is up at the top, they give you another one. And then that sits down on the top of it. So you can kind of clamp it down. So then your CPU is completely secured. So you're getting no motion, see? So now the CPU is completely locked in there, which is actually interesting. So from a shipping standpoint, if you were a PC integrator, that would actually make, this just means that the GPU can ship and you're not gonna have to worry about it shifting around, which is actually pretty neat. Did that quick peel. Pull the peels off real quick on the sides. Let's get it put back together. There we go. Now, we do have to do one interesting thing here. You want to come around the back here, Mr. Connor. Okay, here we go. Put that in like that. There we go. And then now, that's all you see. So you don't even see the cable management that I worked so hard on. There we go.
Oh, I guess I lost signal for a bit, but it came back.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there's that. Let's put the rest of the case back together.
Sorry about the signal. It can be sort of jank when you're moving around a ton.
I forgive you, Connor. Okay, and then we have the last part, which is our top part. Let's see how this goes in here. There we go. And there is the build, guys. Looks good, right? The purple kind of pops out there. Nice and clean look across the board. Not bad for 1,800 bucks. Hey, let's do our sponsor real quick, and then we'll turn it on. So let's do zip tie count real quick though. Zip tie count. Okay, here we go. There's some small zip ties in this, Connor. Okay, here we go, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15. 15. It is odd today, guys. 15. There it is. Odd. Okay. Okay, let's grab our So you get finished building a PC like this, and you want to pick up a copy of Microsoft Windows. Well, here at VIP-CDKdeals.com, you can pick up a copy of Windows for much less than what you pay for a retail key. Now, understand these are OEM keys. What OEM keys means is that they're bound to the motherboard. So if you were to change motherboards, then you would have to purchase and activate a new key versus a retail key, which can be attached to a Microsoft account, which is easier to transfer between device. So here at VIP/CDK Deals, you can pick up a copy of Windows 11 Pro for as little as $32.65. But if you click on that and you hit Buy Now and you use code RBCK at checkout, what was $32.65 drops all the way down to 32, not RBCL, that would help. I was like, wait, that didn't change. I've done this so many times. It drops all the way down to $22.85, saving you $10. Now, I don't know if you know this, but if you were going to Newegg and you were to buy a retail copy of Microsoft Windows 11, that means Windows 11 right now is $139, meaning you'd have to buy 10 plus OEM keys to equal the cost of one retail key. Unless you're planning on changing your motherboard more than 10 times, you're definitely going to be saving money here by doing it at VIP-CDKdeals.com. These are legit copies of Windows. They do allow you to activate Windows, use things like Windows Dynamic Lighting and all that stuff. Now, the other thing too that you can also get here, which is a good place to save money, is Office 365, which funny enough, I just picked it up for my daughter. So here's Office 365 for one device. It's $29.32 versus if you were to buy the Auto Renew, it would be way more expensive. It gives you basically a Microsoft account that has this activated for 1 year. You basically, if you go to this, and again, use RBCK at checkout when you hit Buy Now. What was $29.32 drops all the way down to $20.52, and that gives you 1 year of Microsoft Office 365 that you can use for Windows, for home, for school, and all those other things as well. So if you want to save some money, check out VIP-CDKdeals.com. Literally thousands of people at Robeytech and Robeytech Live have used this to save money on product keys and all that sort of stuff. And you have questions, they have great customer service, and tons of people have used it here in the channel if you just want to ask questions. So VIP-CDK Deals, use RBCK at checkout to save money. Okay, so let me delete that, and then we'll get going. Okay. So, close this, grab this. There we go. Okay, let's get our system plugged in. Thank you, Turdog. Thank you guys for telling and chiming in. they've been a long sponsor for our channel. Okay, let's go and hit this. There we go. Grab this, put this right here. Power goes right here. And then let's grab our keyboard and our mouse. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Okay, here we go, guys. Turn this puppy on. Watch this puppy light up. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the front here. I think it's... There it is. Whoa! I'm so used to a delay in the stuff. Now this might take a little bit because it's probably got to initialize, but there it is, guys. And it did post already.
There goes the screen.
Okay. Saw it there for a second. Oh, you saw the screen? Oh, it just restarted. There's a screen. Okay, so there it is. It is posted. Go to capture here. And there we go. And we are posted. Right, there it is, guys. Already ready to go. Look at that. Boom. No problem there. Let's grab our DisplayPort cable. I think we're already good here, but I'm gonna go and make sure. Looks like Polychrome's installed already. So I know we've already installed all our drivers and everything. I am gonna go ahead and hit no. Because we've already got all our drivers installed. Display settings. Duplicate these displays. Keep changes. We go to 125. There we go. And then we are now in and booted. Okay, so let's open up Polychrome. What color do you think? I think purple would be cool, actually.
Having kind of a purple theme today.
Yeah, I think purple to match the AIO and everything. Oh, it looks like everybody else is like, purple, purple. I think let me just make sure there they are, yep. GPU devices are installed. So we'll get it purple. Let me start Steam so that way there's probably... Okay, Cyberpunk's good to go with FSR4. Letting the LED stuff to take control, and it should be one button to make everything do what it's going to do. Okay, so it's doing an update right now, but yeah, it looks good, right? AppROM, it's updated to AppROM. I think it would look good just because of the Thermalright. Oh, and that reminds me, I should go ahead and grab like
Yeah,
that.
I was just about to say you need the Thermalright.
Yeah, the Thermalright. Right, Warframe software. Okay, here we go. So let's do, okay, everything's good. Let's do static. Let's do dark purple. Ooh, I like it. I don't know about you, but I like that. Download. There we go. That looks really good, especially with the AIO.
Still missing the GPU.
Oh, the GPU. Oh, weird. Okay, all reopen polychrome. Oh, it's open. Okay. Extract all. So GPU isn't even showing up here. It'll probably show up after a reboot. Sometimes it takes a little bit for the GPU to show up. What is luminous tide?
It's just like flashing rainbow.
So we could do luminous tide where it does like, oh, there we go. So we could do like purple. Change this to yellow. What about that?
Those are colors I can't get behind because they're Huskies colors.
It's fast. I wonder if you can slow. Oh, that's never mind. That's like the darkness of it. We could do this, which I think actually looks pretty cool with the purple.
Just a straight all purple. I like that.
Everybody says purple. Okay, purple. It is done. Purple done. Okay. Running the runtime. There we go. Okay, so let's go to. Okay, let's refresh this. Oh, let's load this. Okay, so we got that now. All right, here we go. There we go. Now we got this. Okay, so let's go to here, which I really like. There's like a dark purple one. And then you can also change the. We can change it to more of a purple or blue. Oh, it's not rotated. Display angle 90. Okay, and then we could go. Ooh, I like this. That could be cool with the silver. Rotate 90 with the purple behind it. There you go. Trying to see if there's I mean, like, again, there's lots of options for this. That's what I was saying, like for 80 bucks, there's a lot that this thing will do. Kind of like that one. What do you think of that? Rotate 90.
Yeah, that matches the theme for you.
Yeah. And there you go, guys. Yeah, it's 80 bucks for this AIO with the screen. And there you go. That is the full meal deal right there. All set up and ready to go.
Minus the GPU.
Minus the GPU, which is we probably have to restart for. But I'm gonna let him just show you a little bit of B-roll, and then we'll let Connor shut down, and then we'll do our temp issues and all that sort of stuff, and then call it a day for today's stream, and then we'll have our giveaway. But let's go ahead and start. What are our likes at right now? Cy Swan, thank you for the sub. 57 months. Is the date on the thing changeable? There's actually a lot of control. So you can go to here, and then you can go to this here, and you can change some things. I don't know what, though. It doesn't look like date. You just, it doesn't look like the date can change here. Oh, maybe? Nope, this is CPU temp. You can do a PNG if you want. Oh, here you go. And then you can change the color of the date. But it doesn't look like you can actually change. You can change the coordinate and all that stuff, but you can't change how it's shown, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, there's a lot to play around with this. It's not the most user-friendly software, but you know, it's pretty impressive what you can actually do. But let's shut it down and see if we can get the AIO to see if you can get the GPU to show up, and then yeah, go from there. And then, oh yeah, we got to do airflow. That's right. I think it's broken, but maybe. Okay, there we go. Then we got to do AIO. Oh, hold on. And here we go. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's see if the GPU shows up, and then we'll do our airflow testing.
Show the AIO again, please.
It'll load up here in a minute. And the other thing too is that this screen, you can put it wherever you want. Like, it does detach. So if you wanted to keep it off the pump, you could. So it just pops off like with a magnet. And then anywhere where you can like stick it around or whatever it was, and it is completely rotatable if you want to rotate it as well. And they actually have an external stand, so if you wanted it to be outside of your case, you could do that as well. So, still loading the... I don't know why it didn't stay. I probably have to save it. There we go. You can put videos and stuff too. There you go. There's the screen. I think that closes it all the way. No. Okay. Cool. Okay. So let's see what this. Let's see if this showed up. Nope. No GPU yet. No idea why, but okay. Well, let's go ahead and do our airflow testing and go from there. And then we'll do our peel too. And here we go. Oh. Looks like it's good there. Okay, there you go. Okay, here we go. Boom. Beautiful. Okay, let's start some let's take a look at the Okay, let's go to Cinebench. Open up some heating things there so we can start this, and then we'll start airflow testing. Somebody 100X3D, right now it's sitting at 46. File advanced, go to 10-minute benchmark. We're just gonna start this, and then let's see how the airflow runs. I'll pull this down. Sitting at 76, so no problem right there. Okay, here we go, sir. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna run our back fan so you can see it pull up. There you can see, being pulled right into the AIO there. So feeding the AIO beautifully. So you got lots of air, and you can see how fast air moves through a case like this, you know? So yeah, no problem there. There's probably a little bit of air being pulled through here. You can see from the GPU, even that air being pulled from the inside at the bottom, right? Still good airflow coming right through there as well. So, plenty of pull power there to pull air through. Okay, it's very foggy in here now. All right, so let's see what our temps are, and then we're gonna say goodbye to Connor, move over to our side cam, get it all set up, and then so Connor can get his stuff set up, because we still have work to do afterwards. We always bring it up. Ugh.
Oh, we bring it up.
Yeah, there we go. So that way it just sits in frame. There we go. Boom. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so you can see here temps now after a couple minutes, already temps are sitting at 77, so no problem in terms of cooling. The Thermal Warframe Pro is actually a very good cooler. So, and then all in all, at 74, it's just pulling air, no problem through any one of these, so it's doing a really great job with pulling air through, which is awesome. And then, you know, 7800X3D, so it's not a terribly impressive, you know, multi-core thing, pulling a 17,000, but for most gaming applications, you're not gonna have any issue whatsoever at all. So we're gonna go ahead and stop there. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and load up GPU Tweak, which you can absolutely use for ASUS as well. I mean, for AMD as well, given that ASUS makes both AMD and NVIDIA GPUs. Let's extract that. Yeah, you could absolutely put fans if you wanted. Again, we're just being smart with cost. But yeah, I would try and find the exact same fans from Dark Flash and install those. Okay, we're gonna wait for the other bit to load. There we go. Let's check. This is a Challenger AMD Radeon ASRock Challenger RX 9070. It's going to see if there's a separate version of Polychrome. Support, download. Oh, nope, that's all it says. Okay. There we go. Okay, so there's not a thing from there. Okay, just letting the components finish installing. I'm wondering if... Oh, there it is. Okay. and then it's saved here. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit close this and then restart. Okay guys, we're gonna do the giveaway in just a few minutes, so you have a little bit more of a chance if you want to get it on the giveaway. I have to say, man, this build didn't come out looking bad looking for 1,800 bucks, you know? That's a pretty PC. You know? If you put some rear fans in there, it'd even be a little bit more showcasey, but honestly, having this AIO and all that sort of stuff really does, it just does do a really, really good job. There we go. See if the TRCC loads the way it's supposed to. Polychrome hasn't loaded yet. There it goes. So it looks like you always have to launch this and then wait for the thing to come up. There, okay, there it did. It load. Okay, so it loaded that right off the bat. Okay. It's just detecting its peripherals. So here's the deal, and I was talking about this earlier. I think you need to determine, like, because a 9800X3D is like 400 something bucks. You could get a 265K, and if you're gonna play at 1440p and you go to a 5070 Ti, which would be the difference between a 5070 and 5070 Ti, or a 9070 and 9070 XT is a couple $100. It's much better to spend the money on the GPU than it is to spend the money on the CPU. So I'd go to like a 9600X, which would still be an upgrade, or if you wanted to stay 96, 9700X, versus spending the money on going up to a 9800X 3D, or go 265K. So, yeah. Everything there is good. Okay, so we're all loaded. Let's just make sure our graphics, our OSD is good. Maybe it should work. I've never done this with a GPU tweaks there. Might end it. Try this one more time. It didn't load like it's supposed to. I think for some, oh, there it is. Okay, OSD. Yeah, it doesn't, but the one thing I do know is that for what we're gonna do, it's the easiest, fastest way to do what we're gonna do. So it should be fine here. There it is. Yep, everything is good here. Okay, cool. So for Cyberpunk, it'll be fine. So let's just check our library. Oops, I'm gonna have to log out. Log in as me. There we go. we go. Settings, library. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Play. Oh no, now it's updating. Apparently it needed to update all of a sudden, but luckily it's not going to take that long. Yeah, totally get it. It's like, it really just comes down to, for me, it's whatever's fast to install and stream. Let's go ahead and start the giveaway, guys. So we're at $15, so let's do a $15 giveaway. CloudBot, $15. There we go. Starting the giveaway. Whoa, cancel. Wrong one. Starting the giveaway. Exclamation point community, guys. Exclamation point community. While we wait for this little install to be done. Almost done downloading. It's weird. It's unfortunate that the GPU doesn't come up. I tried to get it. It's almost halfway. Hey, Joshua just got VIP. Thank you very much for all the follows, guys. Still waiting. Waiting for the install to finish. Congratulations, Norms90. Congratulations, Norms90 on the win. You are the winner of the giveaway. And then right at the end of this of the install, let's look at that. Perfect timing. It's like it was all planned. Keep going. So Kindred 454, always, GPU is going to be a bigger jump in gaming than CPU, especially if you're playing at 1440p in 4K. There's a great video from Hardware Unboxed. There are certain cases where you might see, but very rarely, very, very, very rarely in modern day games is the jump from a GPU going to be less than the jump from a CPU. So it's better to save the money on a CPU because a 285K does not bottleneck anything. Or sorry, 265K does not bottleneck anything. 9700X does not bottleneck anything. So again, it's better to save the money there or on a 7800 X3D than to go up and spend that. It's better to spend the money on a better and higher end GPU. Okay, here we go, guys. People seem to get wrapped up in like, I need X3D, but in the end, if you're, there's X3D isn't worth. I mean, honestly, 9800 X3Ds are great for 5080 systems. People were spending money at that level, but most people, the X3D is not going to benefit you at 1440p or 4K. Not truly. Well, that's weird. I've never seen that before. Okay, let's go to this one more time. Stop. And actually, the launcher got whacked out. Okay, let's try this one more time. There we go. That was weird. BMOC, because people buy 8 GB. I don't know what, I guess he's talking about GPUs. Yeah, you should definitely not, like, honestly, spend the money on your GPU. CPU, and then choose which one you like, AMD or Intel, and get a cheaper CPU. If you're gonna do content creation, then a 265K might be a better option specifically. Like, even though you do get a lot from the GPU, the CPU does a lot for things like Premiere and moving things between applications, which would be a benefit, but if not, then AMD is gonna be absolutely fine. Okay, to be clear, 1080p ultra settings, 1080p recommended settings, there are no games that use above 8 gigs. It's ultra settings, which is where it's all not optimized. Okay, so let's go to settings. We see here right now our CPU temp sitting at 62. Man, this Warframe is awesome. And the GPU temp sitting at 45. We're gonna go to graphics. We're gonna ray tracing ultra. Don't we have, oh, we don't have FSR4. So it's not, FSR4 is still coming. So it's FSR3. Okay, so we do FSR3. Oh, just cancel. Cancel. Ray tracing ultra. Confirm. We'll do it up to 3. Okay, so we'll do 3. Frame generation off, texture quality. Let's see what this runs at. I think this is where we want to be. I don't know. I thought they had FSR4 now. I'm running a benchmark to see GPU, but I want to mix it between CPU and GPU. So this is what I'm doing just to give you some temps. But it's been a while since I've run this. So we're just showing thermals right now. So GPU temp is 45, CPU temp is 62. So it's running 84 frames per second. This is with ray tracing on Ultra. So this is at 1440p. CPU is sitting at 62, GPU sitting at 45. I don't feel like I feel like this isn't. I feel like this is stuck. Like this is not, it's updating the frame rate, but it's not getting the GPU. Oh, nope. It feels like it's not getting the GPU temperature. Because I feel like CPU and GPU temperature should be going up. But I mean, like, look at that, dude. It's running it great. I guess the FSR4 implementation isn't in yet. So I didn't see it as an option in here. I saw FSR3. I thought FSR4 was coming later. So 9070 with the right thing, and then so yeah, there you go. It was on. Texture quality was high. It was basically 2560 by 1440. No problem. Ray trace lighting in Ultra. And it was running at 88 frames per second. I'm gonna try to see if I can get this to where all of the stuff is moving. It just doesn't feel like it's working. Quit. Let's try it one more time. It says no, it's 3.1. Added support for compatible AMD import in the FSR will not be available in-game until the supported AMD driver is installed. Oh, please note that the driver will be released at a later date. So this, I don't know, maybe there's a new, let me just check to see if there's a new Radeon driver. This is up to date. So it doesn't look like the patch, the Radeon driver for Cyberpunk is out yet for FSR 4. So it was added, but the driver isn't out yet. Okay. So that's what we're waiting for, is we're waiting for the driver that enables FSR 4 in Cyberpunk. So, now we learned. So this does not seem to be reading temps, guys. Seems to be reading frame rates, but not temps. That's unfortunate. So I'll have to bring that up with the GPU tweak thing. Now let's see, does AMD has an overlay, right? Performance. Oh, there we go. We'll just use this one. Okay, there we go. Size. There's CPU temp and CPU, there's GPU temp. Okay, cool. We'll just use this one. So let me turn off this one. Okay, try this again. AMD the rescue. Try this one more time. So now we can actually see the temps. Yeah, we are, Araxnus. Okay, here we go again. Settings, graphics are all set. Run benchmark. Okay, so now we can see our temps over here on the right-hand side. Oh, dang it. See if I can move this real quick. There we go. Top left. And there we see 52C. For GPU temp, CPU temp 56. So yeah, no problem in terms of GPU utilization 98, CPU utilization 50%. And there you go, dude. No problem whatsoever with CPU or GPU temp when gaming. So this thing is gonna run and game great. With its 9070, which is really, really good price. You know, this whole PC coming in at $1,800, running ray tracing ultra at 96, 95, 96. It's FSR 3. It'll be exciting when it's FSR 4, and no issue with CPU or GPU temps here. Yeah, 1 p.m. Yep. Same bat time, same bat channel, but almost every Friday will be a PC giveaway. And there we go, guys. I think the build came out beautiful. Yeah, 1 p.m. each day. And there we go, guys. There is the system. And that is our stream. Well, again, huge shout out to Dark Flash, the team at Dark Flash, for sending us the DY470. And honestly, I hope you guys were as impressed with the build as I was, because honestly, this build was a lot, came away with a lot of performance for not a lot of money, right? And it looks great. It feels great. It was easy to build in. It's just, you know, all in all, you know, I feel like the parts that I selected were really, really good for this combination. Of course, there are places you could save if you wanted to with a B650. You could go, I mean, but again, and if you wanted to go into NVIDIA, you could absolutely switch to a 5070 if you wanted to. We talked a little bit about earlier on about what the benefits and the cons of that are. The PSU supports both, and it's got cable comb, so you don't need cables. The AIO for 80 bucks is killer. And then again, you guys saw airflow, plenty of airflow, all that sort of stuff as well. So anyway, guys, that is it for today's stream. We are back on Thursday for another build. We're going to be doing a small form factor commission build inside of the Fractal Terra, so that's going to be happening on Thursday. Outside of that, look for new videos, new shorts, and all that stuff throughout the week. Thank you so much for being amazing, and have an absolutely amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye, guys.
Portions of this program are brought to you by the Zip Tie Foundation of America and Excalibur. If you'd like a written transcript of tonight's Robeytech broadcast, please contact Blondie but Geeky. She'll be happy to give you a notepad and a pen so you can start writing down everything you hear.